Hey guys, I'm Nick, and on this episode of the Scran Line, fall season has started in America. So to kick off fall season, or autumn as we call it in Australia, here are some chocolate pumpkin pie macarons. So these are perfect for fall. They're also perfect for any other time of the year. Let's get stuck into the recipe. Okay guys, so start off by popping your almond flour and powdered sugar into a large food processor. I don't know why I said large. You can do these 2 batches at a time if your food processor is not a big one like mine. If you don't have one of these, you can just sift these ingredients together. Now you want to make sure those are really well combined. We're going to pop them into a large mixing bowl. Make a little well in the center and add your first batch of egg whites. You're going to mix that until it forms a paste. Cover it with plastic wrap and set it aside. Next, we're going to move on to making our syrup. Add your water and sugar into a small saucepan. Let that come to a gentle boil. Now, I'm using a candy thermometer because we want to get this to 115 degrees Celsius before we pop our second batch of egg whites into the bowl of a stand mixer. You can use a hand mixer if you don't have one of these. We're going to get these nice and frothy. Once we reach 118 degrees Celsius with our syrup, we're going to very slowly, in a thin and steady stream, pour that very hot syrup into our egg whites while the mixer is on high speed. Once you have all of the syrup in there, you want to continue mixing for a couple minutes before you add your vanilla extract. Now continue mixing for an extra couple more minutes until you get a nice thick and glossy meringue. We're going to add 1 spatula full of our meringue into our almond mixture from earlier on. We're going to mix that until it's really well combined. Then you want to add the rest of your meringue and mix that until everything is well combined as well. Now, this is where most people go wrong in the mixing stage. So some people like to count the amount of times they mix. I think that's silly. I think the best thing to do is to know the exact consistency to look for. And the consistency to look for is something I like to call the ribbon stage. So I like to mix with a spatula going around the bowl through the middle. Continue mixing that way. It helps deflate your mixture. And if your mixture falls off your spatula in a ribbon and disappears back into the rest of the mixture after about 10 seconds, then you know it's done and it's the perfect time to stop mixing. If you go beyond this, the mixture gets a lot runnier and thinner, and unfortunately there's no going back. You're going to pop that into a piping bag fitted with a round tip. We're going to pop little dabs on each corner of our baking tray. Line that with some baking paper. We're going to pipe our macarons about 3 centimeters in width. Once you've filled all of the tray, gently tap each side of the tray just to get any of the air bubbles out. Then you want to lightly dust these with some finely crushed Oreo cookie crumbs. You're going to let these set aside for about 30 minutes so they can dry. While they're drying, preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Once these have dried, you want to bake them for about 10 minutes. Once they're finished baking, you want to let them cool down completely before you try taking them off. Now, I've got some of my Swiss meringue buttercream frosting here. You can find the recipe for that on my website. I'm going to add some canned pumpkin pie mixture. We're going to add some ginger powder, cinnamon, cloves, and allspice. And that makes up our pumpkin spice. I'm also going to add some orange food dye, which is completely optional, but I want to get a little bit of more of that color in there. Mix that until it's all well combined. Fit the end of a piping bag with a Wilton 6B piping tip. And we're going to frost little swirls on top of our macarons and sandwich it with another macaron. And guys, that is pretty much it. Okay guys, so those were my chocolate pumpkin pie macarons. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, hit the like button, make sure you subscribe as well. If you are hitting the subscribe button, welcome, and thank you for hitting it. If you're already subscribed, or if you're just hitting the subscribe button for the first time, make sure you hit the little bell button next to that button because YouTube notifies you each time I upload a new video. That way you don't miss out on new recipes. If you want to grab the recipe for these macarons, it'll be on my website, thescranline.com. Link for that is in the box below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and for all the lovely comments you leave on each video. I'll see you all on the next episode of the Scran Line.